Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us on this wonderful Wednesday. Welcome to the Minority Business Development Agency's virtual Subs and Sandwiches webinar with Skanska. I am Marshette Turner, Director of the Houston MBDA. This is our 7th year offering our Subs and Sandwiches platform, and we are delighted to welcome Skanska. You will receive some very useful information on today. So we want you to fully participate in this webinar. During today's webinar, all attendees will be in listen-only mode. There will be Q&A at the end of this session where my team and I will be asking questions that you yourself type into the chat for Skanska representatives. We encourage you to type your questions as you think of them in an effort to maximize our time together today. As a reminder, this presentation is being recorded and will be available via email to all registered participants. Of course, we have the Houston MBDA team with us today, Ms. Jessica Vasquez, who is our office manager, Deidra Sutton, who's one of our business advisors. She's actually having some technical difficulties. Tanya McGilbra, who is our business advisor and alumni client engagement specialist, and Mark Praigg, who is a part-time business advisor for the Houston MBDA. Again, today's presenter is Skanska, and I will now turn it over to Asmir Ibisevic, who is the pre-construction manager and has 9 years of service with Skanska. Asmir?
Thank you, Ms. Turner. So my name is Asmir Ibisevic again. I've been here for 9 years in the Houston office. And thank you for having us. I greatly appreciate it. Can you go to the next slide, please? So just a little bit about Skanska. We are a national company. We have about 28 offices in the metro area within the United States. We have 3 business units. Building is one of our core business units, which this group is a part of. We also have civil. We don't have civil in the Texas state, but we do have it in the West and the east side of the United States. And we do have commercial development here in Houston. So some of the projects that the CD group has been a part of is the Bank of America Tower, which we office out of, and our most current project that we're working on right now is 1550 on the Green, which is going to be a 28-story high-rise building, which is now under construction. But all in all, we have about 9,000 employees, and our total revenue for 21 was 4.2 billion as a whole company. Next slide, please. More local information. So here in Houston, like I mentioned, we do have commercial development, which so our core building groups is commercial office, it's education, which is higher ed, and healthcare that we focus on. And we've completed 61 projects within the past 10 years. I'll turn it over to Marcus now for the next slide.
Yeah, thank you. So we have a great commitment to diversity and inclusion at Skanska, and that stems from one of our core values, which is be better together. We realize that in order for us to succeed, we heavily rely on our partners, and that definitely includes our minority, women-owned, disadvantaged partners that we work with. And as you can see here, it's all about that partnership and being better together. So we have relationships, partnering, and communities, and that's all about being better together. So we really are intentional about how we go about making sure that our minority, women-owned, disadvantaged businesses have access and opportunities to partner with us on our projects in order for all of us to succeed. And one of the ways we do this, if you go to the next slide, please, is through our Construction Management Building Blocks program. This program has been around since 2007. And as you can see, we've had 800 companies graduate and have awarded over $250 million to those participants of this program. And so the purpose of this program is to, in layman's terms, is to make sure that all ships in the sea rise and we raise the tide. But what we do is we provide information, resources through this program, through its program's curriculum, to make sure that these organizations and these companies have the knowledge to understand the construction industry better and have the tools needed in order to succeed. So we go over curriculum like human resources, legal, field management, project management, and this program can last anywhere from 6 weeks to 12 weeks. And it's really been beneficial, not only for us, but for those that have participated. And so again, our commitment is there, and we ask that you would come along and join with us in that commitment. And I'm not sure who I kick it to next, but next slide, please.
Yes, coming back to me. Thank you, Mark.
Okay.
So upcoming projects. So our one project that's going to come out really soon is the Texas A&M BEC project, which stands for Business Education Complex. We're expecting to start break ground in September of this year. This is on the green side, so all scopes will be required, going from earthwork, utilities, structure, and so forth, down to MEP. This is a steel building, but the foundations and so forth will be concrete, and there's a concrete crawl space, concrete crawl space. Package 1 will be issued in May of this year, which will include the core shell of the building, so the exterior, the structure, foundations, utilities, and earthwork, and so forth. And then we'll issue a package 2 in September, which will be the interior portion. Our hub goal for this project is 30%, and it is one that we intend to meet. Next slide, please. Another project that will be coming out next year is the Harris County Riverside project. We were recently awarded this project. We should receive SD drawings sometime next month, which we'll be pricing out. But this project includes renovation to the existing hospital. It's about 3 buildings that we're renovating, interior and exterior, and there is selected demo. Our hub participation for this project is going to be 25%. Another one is the MD Anderson Zayed building. So currently we're in the DD phase of this project, but we're kind of at a standstill because the owner is redesigning some things, reconfiguring things. So we don't have an updated schedule on when we intend to release bid packages, but our hub goal is 21%. And this is a clean room, so it's about 16,000 square feet of fit out that we're doing. It's an existing building that it's shelled out right now, so there's not much demo. But it's 14,000 square feet of clean room space and about 2,000 square feet of office space. And hopefully we get back on this project pretty soon. Turn it over, Marcus. Oh, I'm sorry, Jennifer.
Hi, I'm Jennifer McGillivray, and I'm the pre-qualification analyst. So to work on any of these projects that Asmir just talked about or bid on them, one of the first steps that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pre-qualify with Skanska. We use an online portal called TradeTap to do that. If you're not already on Building Connected or TradeTap, you can start with requesting I send you the application. You can scan this lovely QR code right here on your screen to get that invitation to pop up. It's just a quick little form that will email me your information so I can send you the application. I will also go ahead and post the link in the chat shortly for you to access there, along with my contact information. So if you have any issues, you can go ahead and email or call me, and I'm happy to help. Next slide. So once you get the application, which you will fill out via TradeTap, you'll also upload your documentation through there. Some of you may be more familiar with Building Connected, which owns TradeTap, and I believe Eric's going to speak a little bit about that. But you'll go into the system, and then there's 3 different levels that you can be pre-qualified with Skanska for. So our first level of pre-qualification is 0 to 250,000 single project limit. For that, we just ask that you go ahead and fill out the application. At that level, our project team actually verifies your safety information during the bid solicitation process. If you're looking to bid jobs that are greater than 250,000, but not greater than $1 million, we're going to ask for a bit more information. So in addition to completing the application questionnaire, we're going to go ahead and we're going to ask you to submit your letter of surety or bondability from your agent. I can provide you with a sample of that if you do need it. You're going to be able to provide us with trade credit references. We're going to need project references, and then also your safety data. For that, we're going to be looking for 3 years of your experience reading modifier and 3 years of your OSHA 300, 300A logs, along with your safety manual. That will get you pre-qualified for up to 1 million, anywhere in between 250 to 1 million based on the review of your application. If you're planning or wanting to bid work with Skanska in excess of 1 million, in addition to all of the information that was previously required, the last final piece of information we'll want to collect from you is your audited or reviewed financials for the previous year. So currently we're working on collecting 2021 financials for our subcontractors who are pre-qualified for 1 million plus. Then that would renew annually in June or 18 months after the expiration of your financials. And those are the different levels to get pre-qualified with us. If you have any questions, please feel free to email or call me, and I am more than happy to walk you through that process. We'll go to the next slide, and I believe I'm going to pass it off to Eric.
Thank you, Jennifer. Hi, everybody. My name is Eric Mendez. I am part of the pre-construction team in the Houston office. So all of our project-related information, such as drawings, specifications, everything is sent through email through a website called Building Connected. Through this website, subcontractors can download project-related files, submit project-related questions, and even submit their proposals. There's a couple ways of signing up. One of the ways you can sign up is through the bid invitation we will send you. Once you receive that, it'll look like the image on the left. And you can go ahead and type in your email, accept the terms, and go ahead and create the account. Another way you can sign up is by going to buildingconnected.com and selecting the login or sign up button at the top right of the screen. And you'll be redirected to a screen that looks like the image on the right. You can type in your email, accept the terms, and create the account. Building Connected is free, just for the purposes of looking at our projects and bidding on our projects. They have additional features that you can pay for, but as far as just bidding on our projects, it should be free. Now, if any of you are interested in bidding on one or all 3 of the projects who you previously mentioned, then go ahead and please send me an email, and I will add you to the distribution list for those specific projects. And my email should be on the last slide.
And so I had mentioned that you would be able to pre-qualify through Building Connected. So in addition to the link where you can click on it and be able to access it once we get that invitation sent, you can also access all of your pre-qualification or qualification applications via Building Connected if you do already have the account there. So here you can see that there is, when you log in, you'll see a qualifications tab, and up at the top, you will then see where all of your trade tap invites are, and you should see one from Skanska once we get that invitation sent over to you. Next slide.
Yeah, this is me. So going back to that core value that I spoke of earlier, that be better together, we realized that that goes beyond the construction site and the project site into our internal offices. And so beyond being a subcontractor, we hope that we would get our diverse vendors to apply and pre-qualify with us as well. And this goes for swag that you would have on the job sites. This goes for office supplies, paper, pens, even anything from water. So anything that's not directly related to the project, we are still looking for minority partners to partner with us so that we can, again, continue to exceed and excel in this area. And so you have the barcode, or excuse me, the QR code here that you can use to get onto the site and register to apply with us. Next slide, please.
This is our information slide. So you'll see our names and our email addresses and our phone numbers. And I'm sure we're going to be sharing this with all the individuals that join, correct? So feel free to give us a call or shoot us an email if you guys have any questions.
Thank you all so much. Thank you, thank you. Are there any questions in the chat, team? So one question is, for your construction management building blocks, is that for individual companies or individuals or companies or both?
In the past, we've done it for both. Typically, we have representatives from a company or individuals that work for a company that's trying to partner with us. But yes, it's somewhat both. And we just essentially what we'll do is just talk to the applicants to give them a better understanding of the program and whether or not it's applicable for them and or their company.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Attendees, please submit your questions in the chat. I'm sure you have a myriad of questions for Skanska with all the information they've provided and the upcoming projects. So they want to hear from you. They're here for you. So please submit your questions in the chat.
I see one question. It says, does Skanska have an internal compliance team who oversees Davis-Bacon, Section 3, and MWSBE requirements?
So we don't have a necessarily an internal team. Our project managers and our supporting staff, we review any Davis-Bacon prevailing wage rates that are required on each job, and we make sure that our subcontractors are paying their employees the correct value. This is something that we submit to the owner. Everybody has to sign off on it. The employee has to sign off that they're getting paid so much, and then the subcontractor, the firm, would also sign off that they are paying the employee that much. And it's included within our schedule of values to the owner when we request for payment. So our internal team would be our staff, which is our PM and our PEs and so forth.
And then for the Texas A&M project, can you talk a little bit more about that package 2 that was submitted or is going to be up for bid in May?
Yes, ma'am. So that May is package 1, which is the structure, the utilities, glass glazing, stone, and so forth. Everything that includes to get the building closed in, right? And the MEP systems. Package 2, which is in September, that would include your flooring finishes, your painting, your casework, millwork, and landscaping as well. So that's for package 2.
So is it package 1 or 2 that goes up for bid in May?
Package 1.
1, okay.
I believe I have a question here. Will these upcoming projects include diversity goals for lower tiers?
So our overall goal is what was stated in the slides. But within that goal, there are requirements for women owned, Hispanic owned, and small business owned, and so forth that we have to hit. But all in all, we do have to maintain the 30% or 20% or 25% stated in the slides. I'm sure whoever asked the questions, if they want to follow with me, I could give them specifics on the breakouts.
Here's a question. I'm a fabricator manufacturer. We hold a DBE in multiple states. We focus on micropile and structural products. How do I connect with the right people to become an approved vendor for these types of products?
So I'll take that. So one of the first steps you can do is you can click the link that I put in the chat. So I can actually send you the application to pre-qualify with us, and that will actually get you in our system. And for those of you that actually work in multiple states and not just Texas, when you pre-qualify with me, you're pre-qualifying to do work with any of our offices. So, for those of you that do business in other states, know that that application applies for those states as well. And then from there, I can definitely share your information with our pre-qual teams throughout those different states. So after we get you pre-qualified, shoot me an email with what you do, and I will definitely forward it on.
That was a great answer because you answered my follow-up question. Thank you.
Does your program include service disabled veteran-owned companies that are also hub companies?
Yes. So as long as, like I said, we have a criteria of breakouts of what each diversity goal for each entity we need to hit, and I believe veteran-owned is one of the items. I can't remember the exact percentage, of course, but I believe it is.
There is one that says, we provide document control services. Is this a service you will need?
So I'm assuming you guys or the question, whoever asked the question is referencing to maybe getting permits approved. If that is the case, on Texas A&M, we don't need that service. On Zayat, we might need that service. And Riverside, it's TBD right now. But I'm hoping I answered the question correctly.
Attendees, you all don't have any more questions. We had a record number of you sign up for this particular webinar, so we were certainly expecting that you would flood us with questions for the Skanska team. All righty, well, going once, going twice.
There is one that says that, will you be using staffing services directly?
So our project managers typically buy out any temporary staffing that we might need for daily labor and so forth. So we would directly do that, but it would be after the bidding process, because typically that's something that occurs after we submit our JMP to the owner. But we always welcome that your contact information, as we'll share them with the project managers so they can add it to their list of subcontractors. That's good.
I have a question for Asmir. What separates a successful subcontractor with Skanska from one who struggles?
So that's a very good question. One that separates is, of course, meeting the project. Once you submit our bid, we're gonna select a subcontractor that is most qualified for a particular scope. So our intentions are always going to be good with the selection process, right? But to make that subcontractor execute the project in a timely manner, without any timely manner and low deficiency, so high quality, is what would set us apart, would set a subcontractor apart, at least in my opinion.
As a vendor, do we need to submit bids through Building Connect, or is a different process?
I'll let Eric answer that question.
Yes, we prefer all bids to go through Building Connected. We will accept them through email as well. And that applies to both subcontractors and vendors. I think vendors would be a little bit more specific if you're providing certain things that are not construction related or based on the project. So it'll be per base basis, but you'll just send us an email and we should be able to be in communication with you.
Where we can access your active projects?
So once you pre-qualify and you go ahead and send me an email on what kind of scopes you're interested in, then I can forward you all the project related files through the Building Connected email.
Is there a minimum year of experience on number of projects within the trade required?
So it all depends, right, on specifications. So for rectors, sometimes the way that the specifications are written, it requires 5 years of experience and some certifications on erection and AIC certifications. But for us, if you are pre-qualified for the value of the project, you are qualified to be awarded the project. So it doesn't really matter experience as long as you meet the specifications and you meet our pre-qualification amount. We are happy to do business with you.
How long to get approved to do business with Skanska?
So I can take that. So once I send you an application to pre-qualify, so it can take up to 48 hours to get the application sent over to you after you've requested that link. And then from there, it's up to you how quick you get it back to me. Some people turn it around pretty quick, and then other people, it can take them a couple days or a couple of weeks. From there, it normally takes 5 days, up to 5 days for me to complete the first review. I say first because a lot of times we do send back for corrections. And then from there, again, it's back in your hands. So it can go as quick or as long as you want it to go. But we do aim to get everybody approved within the first 5 days of submitting their application. It just depends on if everything's answered and if we have more questions or if we need to do a further review for whatever reason.
And how much insurance is required?
I can also actually go ahead and take that as you'll work with me afterwards on insurance if you do work for Skanska. So we do require $2 million of general liability insurance, $5 million in umbrella, along with $1 million combined auto single limit, and $500,000 in workers' compensation. In addition to that, depending on the scope of work, you may be asked to provide other things such as mold, pollution, professional liability, and those lines of business. If they're not typically required for what you do, then we won't be asking for them. We ask for additional insured, waiver of subrogation, and primary non-contributory on all of those lines of business.
Okay. Is HVAC?
Sorry.
Oh, all right. Oh, go ahead.
Jennifer, are there any cleaning janitorial opportunities available on your projects?
Actually, Asmir or Eric would be better to answer that.
Yes. So of course, every project needs to be cleaned. So daily cleaning throughout the construction process, but also final cleaning. But again, that's something that is bought out by the project managers for Skanska at least. So if you guys send us your contact information, we will share it with our project managers, and they have their own list of we call cleaning as a general requirements scope. So they have their own list of general requirements subcontractors that they go out to.
Is 10 hours of OSHA construction safety enough to require the 30-hour certification?
So I think the question is if OSHA 10s are required on our job sites, and we would prefer that you have at least an OSHA 10, an OSHA 30 would definitely help. But there are some projects that do require OSHA 30s. Some of our shell work that we have do require that, but for the majority of the jobs that we work on, OSHA 10 is acceptable.
Is HVAC restoration and dock cleaning in any of your 3 mentioned projects or post-construction cleanup?
We typically don't buy out ductwork cleaning individually. If there's any ductwork cleaning required, we'll contract that out with the HVAC subcontractor. Our goal is not to have any ductwork, honestly. I'm sorry, dirty ductwork on our job sites because we fail to meet the standards. Typically, all ductwork should be clean before you run the air handler system. So it will be up to the subcontractor for the HVAC system to determine if the ductwork was installed properly and if not, if it requires cleaning.
Does Skanska have construction management a scope of services that a company can bid? Is there a scope for signage if any of the packages mentioned in the slides?
Yes. On Texas A&M, it will be in package 2. And for the other projects, we don't have the buyout schedule yet, but there will be signs required, I'm sure.
A couple of our attendees sent me a message. So my answer to that would be to screenshot Marcus Thomas's information. It's here on the screen. Marcus Thomas is the vendor diversity coordinator. His email is Marcus, MARCUS .Thompson@skanska.com. And his phone number is 513-604-9895. Marcus, there were a couple of questions about your diverse spend at Skanska, so I'm just directing them to you.
Thank you.
Well, Skanska, we certainly thank you for your time today. We value our partnership, and you'll certainly hear from us soon. We'll send you information about our Salute Luncheon that's coming up in June, and we'll talk soon. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. Have a great day.